Hello and welcome to the Fort Walton Beach Business Forum. I'm Ron Grissom. I'm the 2014 chair of the Fort Walton Beach Chamber of Commerce, and I'll be your host for the Business Forum for the next 12 months. Today we've got some exciting guests and some exciting events to talk about. My first guest is Dan Robertson with Payroll Management Incorporated. Dan is the Vice President of Sales and Marketing. Is that correct, Dan?
That's correct, sir.
And he joins us today. PMI is what it's normally, or what it's popularly called.
Yes.
PMI. And PMI, why don't you tell us a little bit about what PMI does for the business community?
Well, PMI is an annual sponsor for the Fort Walton Chamber,
Right.
as you know, but for the business community, what we do, we're a PEO, professional employer organization. We help business owners consolidate payroll, HR, workers' comp, employee benefits, recruitment and staffing to one vendor. It generally reduces their liability, it reduces their costs, and gives them a definite better benefit package, to access at lower costs.
Okay. And you would provide this service for mainly small businesses. A company like Gulf Power Company has its own HR department and payroll folks. So typically what size business would employ your services?
Well, we have businesses from 5 to 500 employees,
Okay.
but the average client is probably 20 to 25 employees.
Okay.
But we do as small as 5.
And you guys also provide HR and payroll services for the chamber staff.
Been a long time client,
And
yes, sir.
have been a long time client, and I know it saves them a lot of trouble and a lot of time not have to worry about payroll and benefits and insurance and things of that nature, so they can concentrate on what they need to be doing, and that's running the chamber business.
That's correct. You've got a back office HR provider that lets you save the time there and focus on what brings revenue to your business.
Okay. And you and I talked a little bit before we came on today, and one of the things that we were talking about is something that's on everybody's mind, especially small businessmen, and that's the Affordable Care Act compliance.
That's
popularly
correct.
called Obamacare.
Yeah.
And what does it mean to small business employees and to or small business owners rather, and to their employees moving forward?
Well, essentially, it's been a little all over the place, but you know right now that the employee mandate, basically the individual mandate, is in place since January 1, 2014. Those that lost their health insurance or basically couldn't get on the site to get it when they were having issues, if they can prove a hardship, they do have until March 31st to get coverage. But they will need to have it by March 31st unless they're going to take a tax hit on their taxes at the end of the year. The employer mandate, 50 employees and over, doesn't take place till January 1, 2015. But the main thing is it's vital that all businesses offer health insurance to their employees to attract and retain quality key employees. Now, whether that's through group or now you have the option to do it through individual, that's what you need to figure out. But PMI, basically, we have experts that can help with the compliance, guide you through the best options. Group health insurance, we can provide quotes for 16 different options, 4 levels, HSA policies, 100% coverage policies, 80-20, which is the policy that most people are accustomed to, 80% co-insurance, 80% coverage and 20% co-insurance, But employers need to understand as well, they're trying to cut costs everywhere right now. So through Section 105 of the IRS, basically, there are medical reimbursement plans that the employer can actually offer individual coverage, help their employees by giving them a small amount to help them with that, and they can do that tax-free through Section 105 of the IRS. Most people don't know that as well. So the employer can still help the employee even though it's an individual policy.
Okay, you mentioned the 15 as the minimum number of employees that would need to be covered. 15?
No. Come January 1, 2015, and companies with 50 and over.
Oh, 50 and over.
Yes,
okay,
sir. 50 and over will be required to provide health benefits to their employees.
But there are available options for smaller companies.
Absolutely.
My wife and I own Shady Lane Boarding Kennels. We have 5 employees. Most of them are covered by their spouse's insurance. But if we wanted to go into a group insurance plan, then we would go in with other small businesses to come up with a group plan. Would it be a self-insured plan, or would it be through a carrier?
No, it'd be through a carrier.
Through a carrier?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And those are all part of the exchanges that are out there. Is that correct?
Well, no, the group health insurance is a policy provided through PMI.
Okay.
If businesses
Okay,
wanted
so
to
you
look,
guys would do that.
if they wanted to look at quote options, they could do that through
Okay.
us. Individually, would end up going through Florida Blue
Okay.
on the healthcare.gov site. But there are companies that basically can prepare plan documents and help them with guidance on how to do it as a tax benefit to the employer.
So the more people you have in that plan, the better the premiums are going to be? Is it self-insured plan, sort of? Or is it through a carrier?
It's through a carrier.
Through a carrier,
Yeah.
okay.
So, and it's individual per client. It's going to depend on, the number, the gender, and the age of the individuals. That does make a difference.
Okay.
On what your rates will be.
PMI have experience in that? You guys have already doing that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
works pretty good then, because a lot of people don't know you can do that businesses can come together as a group and buy health insurance for their employees. So that's very interesting. I've only begun to hear some of that here lately with all the news about Obamacare and all that, where you could go together and pool your resources.
Yeah, if I may, I would like to say that a small business can basically get every benefit they need through PMI if necessary, from health insurance, dental, vision, all-state supplemental, 401k, mini medical, legal shield benefits. Every benefit is available through us.
Just like the big boys.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's great. Workman's Comp, let's talk a little bit about Workman's Comp. I know we deal with that in our company and at Shady Lane as well. Tell us a little bit about the Workman's Comp market in the state of Florida and its effects on businesses, and why people should move to PEOs like PMI.
Well, you're going through a semi-hard market, what they call it in the state of Florida, where less carriers in the market basically to provide traditional policies to businesses. What that does, it tightens up the market. It makes each carrier that is still in the state of Florida restrictive on what they want to offer, what they want to do. Some policies, they pull out of some industries per se, or just the other side of that is basically if a small employer has an unfortunate accident, which can happen, it can happen any day, it can affect their experience mod. I won't go into that too much, but basically it affects their rates.
What they pay.
Yeah, it affects their rates for several years. So they're clamoring, they're either getting canceled by their carrier, or they're clamoring for a better rate. The PEO can offer that.
Okay.
PMI is one of a few companies in the state of Florida that actually can look at some high risk business. Maybe they're not a high risk business, but they've had some unfavorable incidents, and we can help them reduce their rates.
Well, Dan, we're almost out of time for this segment. You mentioned that PMI is a sustaining member, an annual sponsor for the chamber. What benefits are you getting out of that sponsorship?
Oh, well, exposure for one,
Right.
but enjoyable. I get to meet a lot of people. That's the number one thing. We enjoy it. The chamber is great for the city, so we know that, and the area. It's a must for us.
Yeah,
But
I couldn't disagree with you on that.
I do want to mention that thank you for having me as your first guest.
Yes, sir.
As the new chairman, and but I want to mention to Ted that January, 10 more pounds on the camera, obviously immediately. 10 more pounds due to the holidays. I hope they're using the skinny lens.
We are using the skinny lenses, and we are changing our menus for our board meetings to make a little more healthy menu.
Good.
We've been talking with Dan Robinson with PMI, the Vice President of Sales and Marketing. Please give them a call. The number's on the screen. We'll be back in just a moment with our next segment.